In this video, I would like to share my wisdom on how we can best survive this technology age. The pressure that we feel on our body and on our mind and our heart, you could say, is the technology. And it's not even the technology itself, it is the noise, it is the chatter, it is the constant flashing that's being given to us, either Facebook flashes of noise and interference, or it's radio, or even you're driving with the windows open and there's just all of this noise going on, signals. It's not the noise itself, it's the signal. And all of these signals that are being given out, that we are constantly, we're receivers, our mind is receivers. Okay, so when all of that is going on, those signals, it becomes like flashes and flashes and flashes in our brain. And our brain, okay, since we don't have any sort of understanding of how our body works, we think we do. Okay, we go to school, and in even a nursing program we learn about what each function is, the organs, the tissues, the bones. We understand, but we don't truly understand how we can maneuver that for our advantage, so that we can be able to, in essence, survive all of this noise that is really pressuring our body. Nursing program or a nurse is not going to be able to give you a tool that you can apply every single day that can rewire your mind to simplicity, to innocence, and therefore adjust your body to a pattern of behavior that is more beneficial to you than, let's say, the pattern that has been given to you by your parents, which is maybe getting really heated, temperamental, moody. You know, we get in these weird patterns. So with this technology age, those patterns that we got going on that are either temperamental, we're getting moody, we're taking everything so seriously, you're right, I'm wrong, or you're wrong, I'm right, that high stress that we constantly, that angst that we are very much in, that a lot of times is born from this neurotic behavior from our parents. It's like they're neurotic, and then they kind of give us this mental pattern that we need to be neurotic, we need to be paranoid, we need to, you know, everything is the survival of the fittest, aggression, you gotta make things happen, run over people, you gotta make your mark, your legacy, that kind of stuff. How we're going to survive this technology age is that we're going to have to discipline our mind through working with our body, understanding our body. We do not know really anything about our body. We may, I know how to give it medication, I know how to get it high, I'm just going to smoke marijuana, I know how to get it high, I know how to get those sensations. Okay, so we're really good at understanding how we can get sensations. Sensations of being buzzed, sensations of being tired or drowsy. We can take prescription and we get that drowsy. We understand the sensations, but we don't really know how to maneuver them, or in essence, how to direct them. Direct them to be a space opening within us that is of our will, instead of just like I do this and that and just, it just happens. We're learning about our body and how to, in a pure fashion, be able to maneuver it when we want to. And that is through, you could say, yoga, that is through meditation, that is through Kundalini. That really gets our body in a state where our will, very much our spiritual, emotional, mental will, is directing our body. That's coming from a place within. Like we know our body. No longer are we just, oh yes, I know these sensations, I know what causes these sensations within me, but it's like we are understanding how can we direct those sensations. How can we direct it so we're not like a body that's just impulsively doing this, or just in a pattern of just doing that we don't have any control over, because we don't even know what is going on within our body. We just know what it is and what these things are, but we don't even really know how we can use our will to direct our body to be what we want it to be. Nobody really knows. How can we direct our body to be what it is, to get it into a pattern or of a behavior that is more beneficial than I'm just going to pop some pills or smoke marijuana and get some buzz? Because there's no longevity in that. So if we are trying to survive this technology age and the noise, we're going to have to simplify our mind drastically, because that ego loves that complications, loves these these dramatic love stories. Everything is just dramatic, and it's just a hustle, it's just stress, everything just feels like it's just not working out, like that. Ego loves that complications. So if we're going to really survive this, we're going to have to simplify really everything about our mind. Simplify it enough to where we can literally look at a plant, look at a tree, and just get that feeling of etheric joy or etheric peace. That is a simple mind. That is the innocence that's going to help us to really be this content individual when there's constant flashes of signals that you shouldn't be content. You shouldn't be content. You should be angry. You should be aggressive. You should be upset. You should be scared. That kind of thing. So you've got to get to the simplicity that really looks at those kinds of things through like an innocent mind. It's just, it's there. Oh yeah, it's there, but it just kind of passes on. It passes through and it passes out. It's not something, it's there, you latch on, you analyze it, you tear it apart, you tear it into other things. No, that's the ego. The noise, how we can best handle the noise is your simple mind, basic mind, just allows it to come in and come out. Isn't creating any sort of identifications with it. A complex mind, an ego mind, creates all these identifications for these noises. Interference, the signals of TV, of radio, of commercial, consumerism. It creates all of these identifications. And then what happens is that an identification usually gets complex. It expands and expands and expands, and it becomes some real complex thing. And that can even apply to our childhood or our traumas, those things that we feel are blocking us or preventing us from freedom. Either it's religion, either it's ideology, either it's childhood repression that your parents kind of put you in. We make everything so complicated where it is things are against us, things are at odds with us, and that right there makes everything quite dramatic. Okay, quite dramatic. And what happens when the mind just spins off into this dramatic thing? It affects our body. It affects our body. Because our mind has a direct effect on our body, either we like it or not. So when we simplify our mind, we simplify our body, so that our body functions can do what they do involuntary, which is simple. It's like the trees. It's not some complicated thing. But when our brain is just this fogged thing from all of these ego complications about oneself, in relation to self, in relation to world, in relation to job, in relation to other, it affects our body. So then our natural involuntary functions that just simple and just do their thing, it becomes this complicated thing where our organs, it is almost like it becomes effort for our systems to function, and that's not natural. But our mind is in this state of effort to function because we're constantly overanalyzing, making things very complicated. We're expanding, creating all of these webbings of storylines of why this didn't happen, why that's happening, why I'm this way, why that's that way. It's like all of these webbings of storylines, and expansion of that affects our body. It creates from its simple involuntary function to now it is just this very complicated thing. It's simple. It's simple, and the spirit energy, the innocence energy that brings the lightness to us, that brings the gratitude, the appreciation, the generosity. And that right there, that simplicity that I'm referring to, it is of a stamina. It is of a practice. It is of devoting your energy, instead of always looking outside and making all of these interpretations of what's this going on outside. And is to allow your every day on a practice, figure out what is going on inside here. Because a lot of people have no clue. Have no clue what's going on in here. So it is like literally the stillness, the meditation. If you want to survive this technology age, you got to do that. Or you're just going to constantly just feel you're at the mercy of the energy of the day, instead of a vortex that no matter what goes on, that vortex is able to maneuver through whatever it is with a sense of ease. So we're not here to be the mercy of the day. I pray the day is a good day. No, it is my vortex is powerful. So I could be in a weird situation, I could be in a nice, easy situation, don't matter, because my vortex has enough understanding of my body, of my mind. I have a nice pattern through yoga, through Kundalini, through meditation, that I am able to figure out, okay, I'm in a really weird situation, how can I maneuver through it? And your body, your mind knows. So it's not like some confusion, I don't know how to move through this. As your body, your mind, you're in tune with it. Not just what they're due as a function, but as in how you can direct it. Kind of like some Matrix things, you know, you could like literally, you're the director of your body. Okay, then we can get in a state of what Yogi Bhajan says, which is we are victorious, either we're in something really comfy and cozy or we're in something dense and dense. Yesterday, while I was at the hookah bar with some friends, 2 guy friends, and there was, you know, music video going on a television, and, you know, people smoking and hookah and smoke in the air, and I was watching the television, and there was just all of this sexual succubus stuff that was going on. Sexual succubus, it just constant, just noise, clashing, arrhythmic stuff, just junk that doesn't even make sense. It's just random, that has no benefit for the mind, for the body, for the spirit. It's just there as like a interference, trying to interfere with the mind, the body, heart, harmonizing. That's always harmonizing. Interfering with that harmonizing that's constantly happening every single millisecond of the day. Constantly they're harmonizing together. The interference is trying to disjoint them. That disjointed funk, it prevents human from genius, because the age is turning into wisdom that comes from within, rather than I'm dependent on a system, on a corporation, on somebody else for wisdom to, in essence, have the genius to create a solid life or solid community or solid nation. So that interference disjoints the pieces within, so that the genius doesn't happen, because the genius is a perfect alignment with the mind, body, and heart. And when that's not there, there is just, again, you're at the mercy of somebody else. And pray that they give you wisdom enough to create a solid community or solid nation. That is the hierarchy kind of energy, the third dimensional energy, the hoarding of knowledge and giving some when you feel like you want to. That's changing. All of the genius is coming within through the harmonizing of the body, the mind, the spirit in its evolution into 5th dimension. The 5th dimension, that's what it's about. The genius comes from within. It's not, here's genius, but I need you to give me this money and I'll give you my genius. Okay, that's not what, that's the old. So while I was there and just kind of watching this, I was talking, looking at my guy friends, and I could just tell they are just not, like, whatever, yeah, they're not affected by it. So that just shows me that collectively we are, our stamina, and I like to say our nervous system, our central system, it's like we're getting a little bit more adjusted and kind of accustomed to this noise, accustomed, like our immune system. Our immune system gets sick. Our immune system gets sick, so what happens, it learns how to handle that virus. It's kind of like us, with all of this noise, our central system is getting adjusted to it. So it is like learning how to handle it better. So when I was looking at my friends, they just totally, just unfazed by it. Unfazed, like, I don't want that. I'm not even tempted by that to want that for myself. So that shows me, again, our immune system, our spiritual system, you could say, our emotional, intellectual, is learning how to better handle these noises. Just like a virus in your immune system, it's learning what it is and how to handle it when it comes, so that we're not running around just sick all the time, crazy all the time. So I wanted to share that because when we are truly in our powerful vortex, like Yogi Bhajan has said many, many times, I could be in that hookah bar and, there could be all kinds of weird, third-dimensional, neurotic behavior going on, and I could be there for hours, and I was just thinking, I could handle this. It's like I build my central, my nervous system up so strong that I can handle that weird stuff on the television. I could handle that. Don't mean I'm going to participate in it every day, but sometimes it's good to be faced with it. The third dimension, the density of that, to challenge yourself. Because we have a lot of energies of light workers, indigos, hiding in their closet, okay? Because their central system, nervous system is shot. They're faced with something really dense, and they just go really depressed by it. The thing is, that energy is not what's going to anchor the fifth dimension. That's not what's going to pave way, or in essence, those energies are not pioneers. Because our body is a product of the third dimension. Our mind and our spirit, as we continue on this elevation path, it could be fifth dimension. Like, I feel my heart and my mind is very much fifth dimension, but I am a third dimensional body that I'm slowly trying to upgrade to be fifth dimension, but it's going to be a generation. So my kids and their kids and their kids. Eventually the biology of Homo sapien will evolve to match a fifth dimensional Homo sapien physical vessel. But we're still a third dimensional body. So we have a lot of spiritual energies that they're fifth dimension in the mind, fifth dimension in the heart, but in their body, they're just not happy because their body is third dimension. So then it causes this depression, because I don't feel like I belong here, because they're not accepting their third dimensional density that they are. And that it causes a lot of indigos and light workers to feel like, I want to leave. I want to leave the planet. It's because they're not accepting the third density that is their body. So you got to accept that. And it is not, I just want things to just be the easy, just flock with the fifth dimension. No, we have the fifth dimension and we have the third dimension kind of cycling together. We have many, many dimensions cycling together. Very low dimensions and very high dimensions cycling together. And if you don't have a powerful vortex, if there's holes or cracks in your vortex, you're just going to constantly, again, just feel the mercy of the day. The mercy as in, when I'm in a high fifth dimensional environment, I'm feeling really prosperous. When I'm in a dense, I'm feeling really crap, like depressed. And so if we truly want to be anchors of this fifth dimension, we become this vortex of its own that is accepting the third dimension instead of, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do with myself in this environment. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. It's like you allow it to come in, like I said, simplicity, the news. You allow it to just come in and come out. You're not attaching any labels. You're not making any identifications. And then webbing off and webbing off. So since something happens, and as you get in that simple mind where, that happened, it happened. It happened. Okay. I let it go, and you move forward, and you move on. That is innocence. That is a childlike, simple mind. Childlike, simple mind. And if we can get into that, we can learn to see the immaturity as it's okay. That person might have said something to me, might have done something to me, but that in immaturity, that doesn't have power over me. I am my own vortex. I am my own vortex. I am my own planet, my own dimension, this complete being. Yes, it was heavy, it was like a dart, it was just, whoo, very immature. But at the end of the day, I am powerful enough to face that immaturity, to face that, and to simply forgive and allow myself to be wiser. To not see it as something that was done to me personally. It's just a pattern, a neurotic behavior. Not something done to me personally, it's just a neurotic behavior that we're all in. And when we can recognize that we're all kind of in this weird funk, in this unhappiness, this arrhythmic flow we got going on within us, and that the words and the actions, the behaviors that we do is not a personal it's just an inward, I'm just not really feeling good, then we can understand better and have compassion better. Compassion. And then through that compassion, we can understand these many, many dimensions, and to not look at them as just bad, good, but just energies moving. Just energies moving. Non-reality energies that people are participating in, where they're not gaining any energy, there's no creativity, or reality energies that are of creativity and abundance within. But if we want to really be that simple mind, it is like, don't be taking everything so personally about these noises and these clashes and the third dimension and this density. Be your own freaking vortex of your life, your own complete vortex, your dimension, so that you're not reliant on attention, reliant on the sympathy from others to be in this world. When you become that complete being within yourself, you know how to maneuver. You know how to maneuver so that you're not accumulating these karmas, these entanglements, these knots with people that a lot of people are not aware of. Knots that can be decades old that are just deep in there, and it only comes out when you're feeling triggered. That triggered, your voice rises, you feel quite irritated, you feel quite uncomfortable. Either somebody said something about somebody else that you knew that did something mean to you. You got to heal that. Because the freedom of our being, the freedom that we all want, or the feeling entrapped or entangled, is simply this karma energy feeling like somebody did something bad to you and creating this sort of label of it. This person did something bad to me. And then that becomes an entanglement and it becomes a knot until what? Love. Love happens. Compassion happens. And then that right there, you are in essence free. But a lot of people have trouble with that aspect of the love and the compassion, the acceptance of the immaturity, while understanding that you as are in control of your being and that you can maneuver through it. Maneuver through it with victory. Because you are just as powerful as this planet, just as powerful as the person you think is the most powerful person. You are just as powerful and just as influential on this planet than anybody. The only thing is, are you going to build your vortex up to actually correspond with that desire or that truth that you are just as powerful as the planet itself? When you understand that, then you become this powerful vortex. Then you become an individual that, instead of just being in this third dimension, like you're just a product of it, like a speck of it, you're just at the mercy of it. No, you become like a matrix person, where you can like literally move it to your advantage. Like you literally can move it. You can literally, in a room so dense, you can transmute that density. And I've experienced that firsthand, where I was in a space that, let's say, was real, very dense. I was such a powerful vortex in that moment. I was able to transmute that because I recognized that I am just as powerful as this planet, as anybody that I think is powerful. And I actually not just believed it, but I had an experience of it. I cultivated that experience. I cultivated through practice, and then what happened? I became it. And that is what we're here to do as a master of our own life. Is we are here to transmute these density energies through our own powerful vortex. And we can't be doing that if we don't know anything about our body or about what's going on within, or we don't even know how to really be wise, or to let go, or to forgive, or to recognize, are we refusing ourselves to be triggered because we just feel like we don't know how to move past this? It could be childhood, it could be past life, it could, who knows, anything. But when we refuse to face that trigger, we have basically dropped all our power in that moment. Because what we're saying is, I am not powerful enough to move on and to be love. I am not powerful enough. And that's the thing. We need strong individuals of love, not love airy-fairy. Powerful individuals of love. This is the practical solution to being able to handle this technology age that's really pressured heavy on us. But that is for you. You discipline yourself. You to accept that the pattern of behavior that was given to you by your parents, most likely it wasn't the best kind of, tool on how to exist in life. And that's okay. Just create your own. Create your own through going out there, setting the intention to challenge yourself, to discipline yourself, to go out of your comfort zone, and to, in essence, do something that gets your mind moving in a new direction and setting it. You gotta set it. You can't just do it one day. You gotta set it. Setting it is like a daily thing that you'll probably do for your whole life. Yoga, kundalini, meditation, silence, nature, gratitude, appreciation. It might be weird at first, but eventually you're gonna feel yourself as just second nature, first nature. And then right there, you'll have more to offer others. Generosity, and therefore you'll feel more abundance and prosperity in your soul, and therefore you'll feel more happy. because you have something to give others. You have energy to give because you have so much energy reserved through your disciplining of your mind, of your body, the mastering of the mind. And for me, my mastering of the mind is I programmed myself very, very young to laugh at everything. So I could be in Spain, that I was, in Alicante, and I was in a hostel that was, very questionable. But I just laughed. The door broke. The toilet was, the bunk bed, I think that broke. And that is what is a pattern that I gave to myself at a very young age that has set me on this beneficial behavior path than a destructive one. And that could be something for you. Laugh at everything. Just dance with everything. You know, I programmed myself to be very fearless at a very young age. And a lot of times that is, you have to be an independent thinker to be able to file through the many things in your mind to see what is not working and what does work. What gives you energy and what does not give you energy. But if you have no mindfulness, if you have no independent thought, you're not going to be able to understand anything that's going on in your mind. So again, you're at the mercy of your mind. Is it triggered today? Is it happy today? I'm at mercy of it. So the mastery of the mind, the mastery of the human, becoming this powerful vortex where you can transmute just whatever you're at, is to be able to maneuver through your subconscious, your conscious, to be able to know how to maneuver, how to navigate like a shaman. You know how to navigate your body, you know how to navigate your mind, and that is practice. Either you're committed to or you're not. Commitment or no commitment is a big difference to your success and be able to master your mind. Because we're like shamans of our own lives, of these low and high dimensions. So I'm gonna leave you guys with those channeled thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this talk today, and thank you guys so much for being on this planet. Like always, thank you so much, because you're greatly needed. We need as many fifth dimensional empowered humans as possible so that we can get everybody slowly on board with the evolution of Homo sapien. So yes, thank you guys so much, and namaste.